let's before we forget, let's go ahead and go back to the I guess the leg warmers and the cap, and get the Griffin Sepia wash on there. I think I still have some that's usable on my palette here, so let's just use that. Okay, so let's get that on there. That way it doesn't look like we've got that really bright color all the way down at the bottommost parts of those hair strands. We want it to be dark down in the recesses in between the hairs, and then to get brighter as it comes out. And so the dark wash that sits down in between the hairs helps us accomplish that without painstaking work that would otherwise drive us insane. Alright, and let's get a little more for the cap. And I'm not diluting this very much. I want it to really help get down to all the crevices there. Okay, there we are. And we've got this nice fade from dark up to light there on the outsides, and it stays really relatively dark in between the legs. And we want to keep it that way. Okay, you know what, let's throw a little bit of this Griffin Sepia on the shoes too. I think we got some on there before, but they're still looking a little on the chalky side, so let's give them a little color and try and bring out some of that detail. Okay, so I think these little straps on the fronts of the leg furs, I'd like to highlight those just a little bit, give us something else to get a nice transitional gradient going on. Let's do a little more of this bootstrap brown, and get that nice and dilute, and then do a very thin coat on those first. Then I think we will do a little bit of shading on them with the teddy bear brown to make them pop out right near the edges. We'll have it fade from inside to outside on both sides. Okay, got that. And while that bit is drying, let's turn our attention to the handles of the axes here. I think that I'd also like to do those in bootstrap brown, except I think I would like to add a little bit of the teddy bear brown in with it to give it more of a woody sort of look. The brown is really more representative of leather in my opinion, so get a little bit of yellow in there and it starts looking like a yew branch or some sort of a yellow pine. Okay, so I think we got that good and diluted now. So we're just going to go over the whole thing, because these little strap parts here we're going to go back over probably with a very similar shade, so I'm not too concerned with base color contamination. It's not going to be difficult to go over those with the color we want. It's going to be so similar to the color that's going underneath it. So we got that there, and let's go ahead and get an initial coat down on the other one. Try and get right here in between the hand and the axe head. And if you're going to err on one side, make sure to air towards the axe side, because we're about to cover that up with some metallics, so none of that's going to show through at all. Okay, all right, and that's looking very nice. Okay, so we got that there. Alright, so let's go with a I guess we're sort of skipping back and forth here. I think these down here on the legs are probably dry now, so let's grab some of this teddy bear brown and make sure that it's nice and watered down. And we do have a little bit of the bootstrap leather in there with it, but that's okay, because that's what's down here already. And we're just going to put the brush down and pull to the side, and pull to the side. Okay, let's go to the other side. Stick down there, pull to the side. I'm sorry, this is really basic technique stuff here that I keep saying, like, you know, you guys haven't seen it before, but it's half for my own benefit, just so I remember to do it. Just gotta stay focused, and it's a little difficult to talk to you guys and remember to always use my proper techniques at the same time. So let's move back up to the handles of these axes. We've got let's see. Let's go with just Devlin mud this time, because we don't want too much red in there. We want to preserve the yellow look of the wood. So we're going to get just a little bit of Devlin mud, and we're going to water it down a whole bunch. So we don't want to darken it up all that much on the top here. We just want to sort of pick out the grain in the wood. Let it do the work. That is the beauty of using these washes. I used just Citadel paints for a long time, but when these foundation paints and the washes came out some years ago, they were bar none the best thing that Games Workshop had done with their hobby line in a long time. You know, completely excluding models and things. As far as their paints go, that was a huge leap forward for them. Getting some good washes and some good foundation paints. High pigment paints save you a lot of time. You don't have to keep going over it again and again and again to get a decent coat on there. So, all right, here we go. We got that, and we're gonna wait for that to dry, and we'll do a little bit of highlighting on there with just some teddy bear brown. And in the meantime, we can do some highlighting on the pouches, also with teddy bear brown. So let's get a little more of that going. And start on this one and go with the lid or the flap. Push up. Sort of dab along the edge there. Get it to release a little bit. And here we go. Up, 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 up. Okay, and I'm not going to really focus on the back side of the pouch here up along that. I'd like that to stay sort of shaded, partly so that it gives contrast with the outermost edge here, but also because the color we chose for this is the color that I'm highlighting with, and I don't want it to run together. I want to keep that contrast right there. So, and let's, this corner here is kicked out just a little bit, so let's pull a little down like some light is hitting it just along the edge. Okay. Alright, so let's do one more layer of this on that one, and I'm going to get right down here on the edge where it might be hitting just under the flap, and then let's see if we can get just a touch in there on that one. Maybe a little bit of light is sneaking through in between his big swinging axes and hitting that one. Okay, so then as far as the belt goes, let's just try and get just a little bit right at the top. We don't want to get any on that nice shaded area that's separating it from the tunic. Let's do the same here on the front. There we go. So now we got a little bit of light there on the top of the belt. Okay. Alright, so while we got this on the brush, let's get just a little bit more right here on the outer edges of these straps. Okay. I'm liking the way that's turning out. Okay, one other thing that I did want to do something about are these laces that go across. Okay. So with those laces, I'm going to do a little bit of Deneb stone again, and we're not going to water it down very much because we want it to stay good and viscous so that it doesn't bleed off the edge when we do this. I just want to get a little bit of Deneb stone onto the tops of these areas right here. So we got that. I don't really want them to be particularly bright. I just want them to have a little bit of definition there. So that's really all I'm looking for. Alright, that looks good. And let's see here. Alright, I think our handles are finished drawing, so let's switch back over to them. And we'll get a little more teddy bear brown here. And that's good. I don't really want to labor over these handles too much here. There's only a little bit of it showing, and they already look pretty good in my opinion. So let's not ruin it with overthinking these. And now we need to figure out what we want these wrappings to be. I think that they look good as the same wrappings that he's got on his arm. So let's keep rolling with the Deneb stone here. Let's get it a little more watered down than we had for the lacing on his chest. And got a little too much there. Don't want it to bleed off the edge. Okay, and because we got that brown down there on it, probably going to want it to be a little more opaque. There we go. That's what we need. All right. Okay. Got the first layer down.